We get so caught up in cat and dog ownership that we actually forget that other animals even exist. Some that could potentially be more exciting, bigger, and rarer than the standard household Moggy. From a giant wolf dog that ate 40 pounds of meat per week to a pack of wolves that almost took down a Russian officer, these are 15 wolves you won't believe exist. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos every day. That being said, let's begin. Number 15. Giant Wolf Dog. If you thought your retriever or poodle was large, try living with a giant wolf dog. Meet Yuki, a wolf dog that has both wolf and dog genes. He was born in 2008 to a breeder and lived with his first owner for 8 months. However, his owner had no idea how big Yuki would grow and decided he could no longer handle him. Therefore, he gave him up to a kill shelter. Fortunately, that shelter didn't have to live up to its name, for Shy World Sanctuary heard about him and took him in. The owner clearly didn't know what he was dealing with when he purchased him. After a DNA test to learn more about Yuki and his needs, they determined he was 87.5% gray wolf, 8.6% Siberian Husky, and 3.9% German Shepherd. His strong wolf genes would explain his size and hunger. Yuki could consume around 40 pounds of raw meat every week. The sanctuary also gave him the nickname Woo Woo because that's the sound he would make when he wanted to play with someone. There's a common misconception that wolf dogs are vicious and aggressive, but that's not always the case. While they can be, there's no denying that, they are also curious and a bit shy and can be loving when they learn to trust you. Yuki was an affectionate wolf dog and lived with a female wolf dog called Bella. While he was larger, Bella was the more dominant of the two. At 10 years old, in 2018, Yuki developed cancer. The sanctuary is giving him all the care he needs, but his days left on Earth are unfortunately now numbered. Number 14. Howlin' Wolf. Most people see wolves as sly, quiet, and wily animals that don't express themselves in a way that people recognize. So you'll likely be unable to believe that wolves howl to the moon and each other in the same way you see in movies. In 2015, a wild black wolf was roaming along a wooded trail. It was captured on a trail camera foraging before walking to a clearing to howl over and over again. It's clear the wolf was looking for a mate or signaling its pack. Usually, wolves howl to rally their pack for hunting or to keep their enemies and rival packs away. In most cases, wolves will howl for about 5 seconds at a time. There is also footage online that shows packs of wild wolves howling at sunrise and even during a thunderstorm. The eerie, gloomy sound of a wolf's howl breaking through the silence of a natural wooded area is both breathtaking and beautiful. It's hard to believe that such beauty still exists in the great outdoors. Number 13. World's largest wolf. Just like dogs, there are many different wolf species in the world, but some are larger than others. Take the Alaskan timber wolf, for example. Known as the Canadian timber wolf, Northwestern wolf, Mackenzie Valley wolf, and Rocky Mountain wolf, it's the largest of them all. The Alaskan timber wolf is not one you'll see everywhere, but its size makes it reasonably visible in its home habitat. It mostly lives around the Mackenzie River Valley, which is Canada's longest river system. Given its broad ecosystem, the Alaskan timber wolf thrives here. Visitors to Yellowstone National Park may also spot these wolves there too, for they have an important job to do. They manage the elk population by forming a stampede, then taking down the weakest and youngest members who lag behind. To look at an Alaskan timber wolf, you can't help but be impressed. They have robust limbs, an imposing stature, and large lungs that allow them to live comfortably in higher altitudes. They also weigh up to 175 pounds, but there are cases of them being as massive as 235 pounds. Number 12. World's rarest wolf. Because of the red wolf's affinity for livestock, it has become the rarest wolf species in the world. There are about 200 living in captive breeding centers, and there's thought to be about 120 in the wild in the northeastern parts of North Carolina. The red wolf almost went extinct in the 20th century because farmers were trying to protect their livestock. Then coyotes came to the party and created a wolf-coyote hybrid. In 1973, only 14 red wolves remained. This breed of wolf is a United States native and came to exist through coyote and wolf breeding. They are medium-sized wolves, definitely nowhere near the size of an Alaskan timber wolf, and they weigh up to around 85 pounds. They also normally measure about 63 inches in length at a maximum and are definitely a blend of coyote and wolf in their sizing and structure. Number 11. Highway wolves. Russian traffic police patrols had a close call on M23, a southern Russian highway near the Black Sea coast. On security camera footage published online, an officer is seen pulling over a car and talking to the driver through the window. His patrol car and another officer are parked on the other side of the highway, seemingly unaware of what is about to happen next. The police officer who's talking to the driver sees a large pack of wolves running towards him. He immediately motions for the driver to let him get into the vehicle, then waits for the pack to pass. They don't seem to show an interest in the car and look like they have somewhere to be in a hurry. Within a few seconds of the final wolf of the pack passing, the officer exits the vehicle and crosses the road to his patrol vehicle. It was a close call, but the wolves clearly had no intention of causing trouble on M23. Though I hope the police officer just let that guy off with a warning. Number 10. Largest wolf in captivity. While there's no proof to back up the statement made by the video uploader, Aquila is thought to be the largest wolf in captivity. He's a big, beautiful Canadian wolf and is shown to act and behave similarly to a dog. He loves to play, get belly rubs, and lick his owner's face. He also craves attention and enjoys nothing more than getting patted and adored by his owner. He's even okay with other wolf-like dogs, and one video shows him reacting beautifully to a small Siberian husky puppy he was introduced to. Even playtime is something special with this large wolf, for Aquila will frolic through the snow with other wolves. He towers above them, but that doesn't seem to bother him or the other wolves. Even though this large captive wolf acts and behaves like a dog a lot of the time, it's paramount not to forget that he is a wolf. When he's eating his food, he will snarl and growl at his owner to not get near him. Trying to take food from a wolf, even this one, could have some deadly consequences. Number 9. Navara the wolf. Navara the wolf is a rare example of how humankind can be cruel, then make up for it with incredible kindness. In January 2012, a couple found a wolf trapped in a cold, rushing river. He was exhausted, freezing, and on the brink of death. As the unforgiving river swept the wolf down the river, rescuers were able to catch him and bring him to shore. His body gave up, and the wolf they named Navara stopped breathing. They gave him CPR, brought him back to life, and took him in critical condition to an animal care facility for treatment. While there, they learned that someone had shot Navara and left his hind legs paralyzed. During his treatment and care, he formed a close bond with his rescuers and slowly became strong enough to walk, then even run on a wolf reservation. Humankind may have let Navara down, but it certainly redeemed itself with the gentle care of this beautiful wolf. Unfortunately, complications due to his injuries saw him pass away in June 2012. Number 8. Dog adoption gone wrong. It can be hard to say no to your kids. When they want something and give you those big pleading eyes, you often give in. In the case of Neo, the puppy, an 18-year-old boy's parents may have been better off saying no. An Arizona teen found an abandoned puppy in a shopping cart. He was fluffy, cute, and looked a little bit like a German Shepherd. His parents agreed to his request to keep the dog, and the teen took him home and called him Neo. Try as they might, they couldn't get Neo to settle into a routine. He stuck to the teen like glue, wouldn't allow other humans to bond with him, and he would urinate and poop everywhere. It almost seemed like Neo was untrainable. As he grew bigger and stronger, Neo kept escaping his yard. He would spend a lot of time at the neighbors playing with their German Shepherds. Over time, the neighbors grew weary, and even gate extensions were no match for this determined doggo. The family had to make the hard decision to hand him over to the Humane Society so they could match him with a family who could care for him them properly. As it turns out, there's a reason why Neo didn't fit his domestic surroundings comfortably. He was a wolf dog with dominant wolf genes. This finding would explain his connection to a single human, distrust for all others, and his desire to form a pack with other dogs. Neo now lives in a wolf community where he's happy and content with other wolves. Number 7. Curious or hungry? In most cases, wild wolves will make every effort to avoid humans. They are naturally afraid of them and will go out of their way to hide in vegetation or woods to avoid contact, which is what makes this wolf so unusual. Siddharth Gandhi was driving down a deserted Yellowstone National Park road at night in the snow. That in itself is scary enough, but more so when he discovers an enormous wolf on the side of the road. Without showing any signs of fear, the wolf walks out onto the road and stops in front of the car. It loiters around, sniffs the ground, and eventually sits down on the side of the road. Finally, it heads back into the woods from which it came. No one knows for sure why this wolf wasn't scared. It could be hungry, curious, or perhaps now familiar with humans. Whatever the reason, this dashcam footage will likely be something Siddharth treasures forever. Number 6. Wolf pack protection. Wolves may be animals and as far from human as you can get, but that doesn't mean they don't protect their family as we do. Astonishing footage has come to light of a wolf pack going to extreme lengths to protect its own. Now you can see why groups of friends call themselves wolf packs. Wolf pups are out playing, frolicking, and enjoying the sunshine. Next thing they know, a hungry and bedraggled female wolf by herself approaches them. Given her level of hunger, this wolf could pose a genuine threat to the babies. The adult wolves in the pack band together, block the female wolf with their bodies, and lead her away. She tries again and again to reach the cubs, but she is continually blocked. In most cases, wolves will not allow a threat to survive, but they let the wolf leave in this case. Number 5. Arctic snow wolf pups. Not only is it incredibly rare to capture footage of wolf pups in their home environment, but it's even rarer to video Arctic snow wolf pups. Those who wish to photograph or video these beautiful creatures would have to get around their fiercely protective parents, then navigate their unforgiving habitat in the Arctic regions of Greenland and North America. One man with enough desire to video Arctic snow wolf pups made it happen. He waited until a mother and her babies were out of their wolf den, then set up a robotic camera in front of it. The footage shows that the pups, thought to be around 1 month old, had no fear for the camera and played with each other as if it wasn't there. Unfortunately, footage like this is few and far between, and not only because of their environment and parents. Climate change is having an impact on many Arctic creatures. The weather has meant that Arctic hares and muskox are going hungry, and their population decline has impacted wolves who rely on them for food. Number 4. Dire wolves. When Game of Thrones showed dire wolves on some of their episodes, many people just had to ask Google if they were real. After all, a lot of things in Game of Thrones were not. While these giant wolves, which grow to around 5 feet long and weigh about 200 pounds, used to exist, they don't now. They existed during the Pleistocene age between 10,000 and 250,000 years ago. Fossils were found in Indiana in 1854 to prove their existence. Since then, the remains of dire wolves have been found across a myriad of different habitats. They've been found in grasslands, North American forested mountains, and even South American arid savanna. If that wasn't random enough, then even the elevation is not consistent. Fossils have been unearthed at sea level all the way up to around 7,400 feet. The dire wolf, if you were to compare it to any creature of today, would look almost like a gray wolf. It weighed an average of 132 pounds, and its skull is roughly the same as a gray wolf. However, its teeth differed. They had a far greater shearing ability, and the bite force is unlike any other wolf species today. The dire wolf was also thought to be a pack hunter and would dine on camels, bison, mastodons, horses, and ground sloths. Given the strength, robustness, and tenacity of the dire wolf, it seems strange to think that it couldn't hold its own and beat extinction. As it turns out, it couldn't. In around 12,700 YBP, 90 different types of animals weighing over 97 pounds, known as megafauna, became extinct. Dire wolves were one of them. The cause of their extinction is under debate, but it's thought that competition with other species for food, climate change, and human hunters could be to blame. Number 3. Rare wolf attack footage. There are going to be very few instances of wolf attacks caught on camera. In most cases, people will be trying to de-escalate the situation rather than film it. Wolf expert Camels and Friends on YouTube is the exception. She caught a small amount of her own wolf attack on camera and lived to explain what happened. The woman was videoing her wolf, Lorne, eating. The area was infested with ants, and a fire ant bit Lorne. He redirected his anger to his owner, grabbed her by the skull, and dragged her into a corner. The woman explained that she had had a lot of experience with wolves and knew how to act calm, show no fear, and not panic. While she was bleeding profusely from the attack, she was able to calm Lorne down by being calm herself. That evening, the pair were playing nicely once more. The woman said that she has no fear of Lorne, but doesn't forget he is a wild animal and apex predator. Number 2. World's oldest wolf. Most healthy wolves in the wild will live to around 8 years old. In captivity, that can almost double to an average of 14 years. However, for Medad or Maddie, those were long ago milestones. This beautiful wolf lived until she was nearly 19. Maddie was rescued with her brother Gosi at 8 days old and hand-reared by Tony Hayway. Tony would bottle feed Maddie and her brother every 2 hours to make sure they were getting enough sustenance. Once they were strong enough and old enough, the pair were able to roam acres of remote forest at Wolf Watch UK Wolf Sanctuary and live a long and happy life. That's exactly what they did. Maddie died in her handler's arms in October 2018, not all that shy of spending 2 decades on the property. Her brother, Gosi, died not long before her. Maddie was an extremely well-socialized wolf, as was her brother, and was taken great care of throughout her life. It's thought that their unique connection with humans, which is rare for wolves, is directly linked to the great start to life the sanctuary gave them. The Wolf Watch UK Wolf Sanctuary usually takes in wolves that were born as a result of excess breeding, from zoo closures, and fights of dominance. Number 1. Wolves that changed America. Any kind of animal can make a significant impact on our lives, but did you know they can also change nature? 14 wolves introduced into Yellowstone National Park in 1995 are proof of that. They changed an entire ecosystem. At the time, the park was suffering from an overpopulation of deer. The wolves' hunting habits soon put a stop to that. With fewer deer, plants were thriving, and once scarce trees like the willow and aspen were now back in larger numbers. More vegetation brought more bugs and berries, and wildlife came in their droves to take advantage. Even beavers, who were extinct in the park, decided to call the area home once again. The wolves also took care of the overpopulation of coyotes, which meant small critter numbers went up. Foxes, hawks, and badgers then moved in to take care of mice and rabbits. Even the rivers were benefiting from these 14 wolves. The increased vegetation stopped bank erosion and the river level stabilized. The park, which was in grave danger, was entirely saved due to the effort of 14 wolves who feasted on a few deer. Isn't that incredible? Were you surprised by these wolves? There are some pretty incredible stories involving wolves out there. Do you live somewhere that has wolf packs nearby? Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time!